Taiwan Crypto Exchanges, AML Law Section 22 Criminal Liability, and AI Compliance. Episode Outline. The Hammer, Taiwan's AML Law Section 22 for Crypto. Criminal Liability, the Harsh Reality. AI, the Game Changer for AML Compliance. Future Trends, RegTech, Legal Tech, and AI. This isn't just a hypothetical nightmare. It's a very real risk under Taiwan's Anti-Money Laundering Act, specifically Section 22. This crucial article places a heavy burden on financial institutions, which now explicitly includes virtual asset service providers, or VASPs, to report suspicious activities. White heavy checkmark the hammer, Taiwan's AML Law Section 22 for Crypto. Soon arrow coming up, Criminal Liability, the Harsh Reality. Imagine a bright young entrepreneur, let's call him Alex, who started a promising crypto exchange in Taipei. Business was booming, but Alex, like many, focused heavily on tech and marketing, perhaps overlooking the intricate legal landscape. One day, a suspicious transaction involving 10 million new Taiwan dollars slips through, unreported. Suddenly, Alex finds himself facing serious legal scrutiny. Consider Alex's exchange again. Because they failed to implement proper AML protocols and report the 10 million new Taiwan dollars transaction, they're now in violation. Therefore, they could face criminal charges, not just regulatory fines. In other words, ignorance of the law is absolutely no defense, especially when dealing with such significant financial flows. This isn't just a hypothetical nightmare. It's a very real risk under Taiwan's Anti-Money Laundering Act, specifically Section 22. This crucial article places a heavy burden on financial institutions, which now explicitly includes virtual asset service providers, or VASPs, to report suspicious activities. White heavy checkmark the hammer, Taiwan's AML Law Section 22 for Crypto Criminal Liability, the Harsh Reality. Soon arrow coming up, AI, the Game Changer for AML Compliance. The requirement for VASPs to submit their AML compliance statements by September 2021 was a clear signal. However, many still operate in a gray area. But actually, the regulatory net is tightening globally, and Taiwan is no exception. Proactive compliance is no longer optional. The Financial Supervisory Commission, or FSC, issued its guidelines for anti-money laundering and countering terrorism financing for virtual asset service providers in June 2021. This was a game changer because it formally brought crypto exchanges under the AML umbrella. Many smaller exchanges, however, either misunderstood or simply ignored these guidelines. White heavy checkmark the hammer, Taiwan's AML Law Section 22 for Crypto Criminal Liability, the Harsh Reality AI, the Game Changer for AML Compliance. Soon arrow coming up, Future Trends, RegTech, Legal Tech, and AI. For instance, a sophisticated AI system can flag a series of small, rapid transfers to multiple wallets, a common smoothing technique, much faster and more accurately than any human. This leads to a significant reduction in false positives, sometimes by as much as 30%, allowing compliance officers to focus on genuine threats. Consider Alex's exchange again. Because they failed to implement proper AML protocols and report the 10 million new Taiwan dollars transaction, they are now in violation of Section 22. But here is a critical distinction many people miss. Section 22 addresses the reporting obligation itself, while Article 14 addresses the substantive offense of money laundering. These are not the same, and legal exposure escalates along a clear path. The future trend is clear: the convergence of regulatory technology, or RegTech, and legal tech. VASPs will increasingly rely on AI tools not just for compliance, but for predictive analytics to anticipate regulatory changes. Lawyers, in turn, will become crucial consultants in deploying and validating these advanced systems. Under Section 22, a VASP that fails to report a suspicious transaction faces administrative penalties. However, if prosecutors can establish that the unreported transaction was part of an actual money laundering scheme, the charge escalates to Article 14, which carries penalties of up to 7 years imprisonment and a fine of up to 5 million new Taiwan dollars. Failing to report does not automatically mean a 7-year sentence. What it does is remove the compliance firewall that might otherwise have shielded the VASP from the heavier charge. The escalation path is this: A Section 22 violation opens the door to Article 14 exposure if underlying criminal activity is later proven. If you found this insight helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more legal updates, and ring that notification bell. This video is for informational purposes only. Consult a qualified attorney for specific legal matters related to your business. Episode Recap. White heavy checkmark the hammer, Taiwan's AML Law Section 22 for crypto. White heavy checkmark criminal liability, the harsh reality. White heavy checkmark AI, the game changer for AML compliance. White heavy checkmark future trends, RegTech, legal tech, and AI.